Hey guys, welcome to Ren Men. It's Tyler Killgore, and today we're making a grape pie. So let's start cooking.
Okay, let's go.
So now as you can see, we're using the new camera today, and so I'm using the built-in microphone, and we'll see how that goes. I know my voice carries pretty well, so I don't think you'll have a problem hearing me, but we'll see the mic situation as we go along. So let's go to the ingredients you guys need, and let's just start preparing it. First thing we're going to do though is set the oven to 425 degrees. Alright guys, so here are the ingredients you're going to need. 2 pounds of grapes, 2 pie crusts, some butter, some nutmeg. Now, you can use lemon juice or you can use a lemon. Ooh, that was a pretty big bang. Some honey, cornstarch, and in here is some sugar. So, let's get started actually making this pie. Alright guys, now you're going to need a lot of different kitchen tools for this. You're going to need a big sauce pot, a strainer, a pie plate, and a slotted spoon. I guess that isn't a lot of materials. And then your various measuring cups and stuff like that. But you know, all in all, this does not create that many dishes. Alright. Oh, that's a crinkly bag. Anyways, so we're going to start out with 2 pounds of grapes. Now, this is 2 pounds with the stems in, and you're going to empty them all into this little strainer here. So let's get this open and let's get to plucking. An escapee. Another one. If you accidentally eat one, it's okay. So I'm going to talk for a little bit while I continue to pluck these grapes off. And this is supposed to be kind of a tart recipe. However, these grapes are pretty sweet, so I don't know how that's going to turn out. We keep having escapees. Now, these pie crusts are laid out because it is pretty important to make sure they're thawed. And these have been in the freezer for a little bit. I moved them into the fridge last night, but I want to make sure they were thawed. The reason for the strainer is so that we can wash the grapes. Now, I'm not going to necessarily show you guys me washing the grapes because that's kind of boring. So let's get these washed up. So here is a greased pie pan, and now we're just going to put the pie dough, the crust in it. So I gotta get it open. Me and pie crust don't get along sometimes. Wow, it's sure interesting to watch me unroll a pie crust, huh? Fixing the little hole I accidentally tore. Now, leave some edge. That is important for a later step, because if you lattice top this, you'll definitely want some edge to it. But we are putting a whole nother pie crust on the top, and that definitely needs a little bit of edge so you have something to fold up on. So there we go. The pie crust is now in the pie plate. Alright, with the grapes in a big pot, set the heat to medium. I have 9 on here, so I'm going to set to 5. And then start adding the ingredients. So first off, you're going to add a half teaspoon of nutmeg. Half teaspoon of nutmeg. Next up is 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Well, that lemon juice looks a little murky. It tastes just fine, so I don't know what was up with that. Next up, half a cup of honey. Oh yeah, get that drizzling in there. Now, if you had turned on the heat prior, now would be a pretty good time to stir it. So just let the honey drain into there. And the last thing you'll put in here is your 1 cup of sugar. So I'll do that here in just a second. Okay, I'm going to let that settle, stir it a little bit, and then put the sugar in. Get it stirred up here, because it is overheat right now. So I'm going to get all this good junk stirred up. Looks good. Alright, so it smells really good. Alright, so it is stirred real well now. And let us get some sugar going. Half a cup of sugar. 1 cup of sugar. Very nice. Let's see if we can get any more honey out of there. Because half a cup of honey is kind of expensive. I don't want to waste it. And then let's get that sugar mixed up while we're doing this. Now, it is important to watch this mix so you do not burn the sugar. Also, it is important not to put your hand on the end of a warm pot, but I apparently never got that memo as a kid. And I've burnt my hands many a time. Alright, so I'll come back when this mix is warm. I wish you guys were here and could smell this blend of honey and nutmeg and lemon. Oh, it smells so good. So I'm going to take this time while I'm not rushed to explain the next step. When these grapes are warm to the touch, what you will do is you will put in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then you will put in 3 teaspoons of cornstarch. And what that does is that will thicken up your mix real nice into a nice thick pie filling. And so what this cooking process does is this actually removes the juice from the grapes. And as this happens, these grapes will become easier and easier to pop. And you want to try to not pop them, obviously. The reason why I am continuously stirring is because honey can burn. And these are nice pots, so I don't want to burn honey to them. Also, sugar can burn. And so, but you have a real nice caramelized honey sugar mix here on the bottom. And oh, that lemon juice smells so good with it. So I'll come back whenever I'm adding the cornstarch. So I'll see you guys then. And that's the mixture boiling, is what that is. And so the honey, as you can see, has lost almost all of its viscosity. And that's good. That means it's warm. And so now we're going to feel a grape and see if it is done enough real quick. Woo! That is a warm grape. So we're going to now add the cornstarch and the salt. So let's get that going. I know you guys can't see this, but I just got a bunch of cornstarch on the floor. And everywhere else. 1, 2, 3, because I did a really bad teaspoon last time. So there is your cornstarch. We'll give it a mix and then we'll put the salt in. As you can see, it is if we let it sit for a little bit, starts to boil, and oh, we are so close to ready. It's not quite thick enough yet though, but oh, it's so close. At this point, you really want to make sure you're stirring fairly frequently. You don't want to give them too much time to sit in one place, because boy howdy are this bottom hot, and that honey is warm and all that other good stuff. And so you don't want to burn anything at this point. Also, stirring helps increase the thickness of it as well, if it will hurry up. And oh, we have a deflated grape. We have a man down. Where's he at? We have a man down. Oh no. Anyways, that'll happen as we get warmer, because these grapes are getting warm and they're getting rid of all the juices inside of them. So that's just what kind of happens. So I guess we'll be back after we're ready for a pie plate. But oh my goodness, do these smell good. This mixture is brought to a nice light boil. You don't want a nice heavy boil, just a nice light one. What you're going to do is you're going to take these grapes, strain them into the pie plate. You're going to do this for the entire bit of grapes. And you're not going to accidentally spill them on the burner. So let's just move this off the burner here. Then we're done with this burner, so we can turn it off. And just make sure you spread the grapes around. Ah, that's the wrong side. There it goes. Get this pie plate moved over here while I do it. And so, yep, just scoop out all these nice green grapes you got. Make sure you strain them a little bit. You will be putting this liquid in there, just not quite yet. So just incredibly boring to watch. Me scooping grapes in. Ooh, look at those grapes though. Look so delicious. And now you can, oop, now I can drip all over the place. So now you can see all the goodness that was left in the bottom. And what you're just going to do is you're going to take it, you're going to pour it over until it fills the pie plate. And then you're probably going to have to do what I'm about to do and even this grape mix out a little bit. It's pretty good. Going to add. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's a pretty full mix. So now we're going to put the top part over it. Alright, so this is where your 2 tablespoons of butter are going to come in. You're just going to kind of slice them and put them on the top here. Pat of butter number 1. Pat of butter number 2. Oh, that's in a bad spot. Make sure you get all the wax paper off your butter as well, because if you don't do that, you'll have wax paper in your pie. Maybe I shouldn't have let this butter stay out for so long, but that's okay. So, oh, I guess that's where it's going to be. Alright, so 5 pats of butter, and now we're going to put the top crust on. Alright, so here's our grape mixture with some butter in it, and that butter was dissolved, giving a nice savory flavor. And we're going to put the top pie crust on, if I am able to get it unwrapped. And of course I'm going to have the same problem. There we go. Alright, so here's the top. We're just going to put it over our grape mixture and our butter, and we're going to crimp it at the tops. Now, an actual pie plate will have guides to kind of help you crimp it at, which is what I'm kind of using very poorly. I'm not a master baker, so there's that. These look pretty bad. Now I do know they make pie crimping tools. I do not have one, but I do know they are made. And that pie crust will start to get a little just a little soft. Yeah. It will start to deform itself. It's kind of up to you to make it reform itself. You have to leave the pie crust reformation yourself. Oh, that's that is good. Ho ho ho. Alright, so there's a crimped pie crust. Alright guys, now we have the pie crust crimped very poorly. Let's just not focus on it. It was done at least. And now we're going to cut a couple little slits into the top. There's my cat. So let's cut a 3 relief slits. Kind of tore a little bit there. 3 relief slits. 4 relief slits. Looks delicious. Now our oven's been preheated for a little bit, so let's just pop this bad boy right into the oven. Woo, that oven's warm. Now the oven will be heated to 425. And it will take 30 minutes to bake. So let's just set the timer. Now after baking for 30 minutes, this is the pie that we're left with. Now as you can see, it is bubbling, and it is the pie definitely looks like it's breathing right now. But oh, it smells so good. As you can see, many of the grapes popped during the baking process. So I can't wait to try it out. But you do have to let it sit before you can try it out. So we're going to let it sit for a couple hours, cool down to room temperature, and then we'll try it out. But oh my goodness, it looks delicious. Alright, let's cut into this here pie. Just do it from across. It was definitely not quite as pretty as the picture. I also think my relief slits were a little too long. So final thoughts on the pie. It came out a little bit soupy, and that could be due to the maybe not having the grapes quite done enough, or not having enough cornstarch. So if it comes out a little soupy on you, add a little bit of cornstarch to it. Overall, though, the flavor is really good. It tastes a lot like summer, and the tartness of the green grapes overcomes all the sweetness from the sugar and the honey and everything else. So all said and done, this took about 2.5 hours to actually make itself and cool. So yeah, delicious pie, and you guys can impress your friends with this. It's been Tyler for Ren Men. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.